This week on RSBANDB Update, thieving just got hit hard. RuneScape's rebalance slashed AFK time and the community reacted fast. Days later, Jagex responded and the feedback loop actually worked. What changed and what should players expect next? We nailed down AFK expectations. This is RSBANDB Update, episode 1077, recorded Thursday, February 19th, 2026, Thieving Trigonometry. Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of RSBANDB Update. This week we've been on the thieving circuit, full of triangles, as they said in the news post. Triangles to convey where thieving was and where it went this week. Tenets, you're here. Welcome back.
Thank you, Shane. I mean, triangles, circles, a lot of geometry.
Yeah, you got to try and figure out a way to square the circle. Right?
180, after 360.
After this week's update.
Yeah.
Is it 180 or 360? I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
all those things.
We're going to talk about it mainly with thieving. But also, Pernasius is here, everyone's second favorite Australian. Welcome aboard.
Hello all, back from the abyss.
Excellent.
That'll be referenced later.
and of course Avernick as well. I asked you this week if you wanted to come on and discuss and discuss the thieving changes, because as soon as this update landed and people realized how this felt, oh boy, was it contentious, wasn't it?
Yes, I both know exactly what we're going to talk about and have no idea what people are going to say, so it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, exactly. That's the way these shows go. And, so many people have been looking forward to these shows for so long, and a good selection of those people include our experienced tier Patreon members for whom without update would not be possible. That includes Amos Reed, Bladecom, Dominic R, Jade Gizmo, Jason S, Jesse W, Julia W, Kesky, Lemon Lodge, Luminos, Ricky A, Oasis, Snail Mage, The Naked Captain, and Tim. You'll hear more about our Patreon offerings a little bit later in the show, including what the next monthly bid is probably going to be, unless people decide in the next 5 days it's going to be something else. But all of that and more can be found over at update.show. We have a friends chatting game that you can find as well at Bits Bytes, and the Discord is over at update.show/Discord. All right. So thieving this week. We discussed the early game rebalance last week, but this early game rebalance also had ramifications to the top high echelons of the skill with thieving, whether you be, of course, level 1 or all the way up at level 120. Oh boy, we felt it this week. Any additional thoughts of how this how this landed?
Yeah, this one drew some blood, right? Like, and what's funny is I kind of knew this is what was going to happen, but I was hoping against hope. Like, you never know. Maybe it'll go a little different. I knew exactly how the people were going to react. The only thing I've been surprised about is the principles that we'll talk about later that Jagex puts forward. I think are good, and we'll have a good discussion about those. That was the only part that surprised me. I didn't really expect them to come to counter, and it almost like they had that in their back pocket. Well, funny like that. But that's what I have thought from the beginning, guys. Like, this integrity stuff, get ready. Like, I don't think people understand that in that vote, the people that want to slow the game down won. Okay? Yeah, you got rid of your microtransactions, but you voted to slow the fucking game way down. And that's what they're doing. But I'm surprised at the back and forth and the coming out at an actual balance point. Dare I say it?
I know. I think, they've been pretty honest about wanting to be transparent and open to the player base. So I think they did do that. My thoughts was they went hardcore on what they dropped on Monday. And yeah, it was like, yeah, we're coming in for the landing. Oh, we're out of helium. punk. Everyone survived, but hey, it was a bit of a rough landing. Everyone threw their 2 cents worth in, and what I think we got yesterday with that cold fix was pretty much what I would have expected from what I had read. I mean, as I was saying on the thing, it's great when I can just sit there, click, pickpocket, go away, do a load of dishes, do my washing and such, come back every 15 minutes, hit tab and just make sure I stay logged in, and I can pickpocket for hours on end without getting attacked. That's not healthy gameplay. I mean, sorry. I mean, as much as I love it, you're not interacting with the game when you hit one button.
And I think
not for the payoff.
No,
yeah.
and exactly, I think that goes towards player expectation, what they want in it. Avernick, what has been your observation from this community wise, and even yourself, what you think?
I think that over the past month or so, when we've been talking, or a month or two, when we've been talking about these upcoming integrity updates, they're finally here, and I think the thing that we saw coming that finally reared its head was that they've been very transparent in communicating, but they've been very transparent in communicating with giant blogs that a fraction of people are probably reading.
Precisely.
Like, we might have understood what was happening, but like, now that it's actually in our hands, I think that caused a lot more eyebrows to be raised that maybe weren't paying attention before.
The dingo wasn't supposed to eat my baby. That's my baby.
So I'll say, even as someone that's reading every blog, like, there's just so much of even the thieving changes that they said, it's going to be higher starting success chance, and then there's going to be success chance that goes over is going to count towards like a guaranteed until it depletes. It's like there was so many pieces of math there on thieving success chance that we've never had to think about, because we just get past the point where it's 100% AFK. It's like, okay, it's AFK now. We didn't nothing. Yeah. There was very little analysis on. It's like, okay, how much time does this actually mean you get in the your clear zone versus what else, while they're nerfing things like Crystal Mask. So like it was hard to say where the landing spot was going to be until we got it, even with all the blogs. So again, not so surprising. But
and I think we also look back to what thieving was and what it became after Priff, and then what it morphed into after Cruxical Knights and everything like that. Go ahead, Dennis.
Oh, I was just thinking, but also kind of hold on to that for later too, because I think because of that, I'm going to call it extended AFK time that you had with thieving, that did start to come in with Priff, but really came into the 15 minutes. That's more of a later type of
auto
thing.
Pickpocketing, change
right, and I just, that is kind of an identity in of itself, right? Like, none of the other
question is,
skills.
What should that skill be?
But I knew this was coming, because the tell for me was the crystal mat. When they started taking away, or really, really cutting down, like, the way that you could stack your buffs and the way that you could build stuff, I looked at that and I said, they would have never done that with PVM. Never in a fucking million years would they just took a hatchet to someone's gear. Nah. So I knew that this is what it was going to be bad, right? But at the same time, I looked at it like, hey, as long as I get the same amount of time on fishing.
And that's the way to look at it too, because I mean, like, if you're applying Crystal Mask every 5 minutes, if you can AFK for that full 5-minute time period, what does it matter?
Well, that's it.
Which is become their goal.
Because that's a
right. But that came. But that's where they came back, and that's where I see, like, they're bringing that back, right, in a way that I think is healthier, sure, but you know, the skilling part of the game should be able to build setups and do things and
Mm.
extend AFK and that's what they said that's what the goal is. But they sure took a hatchet that first
Yeah.
that first
Well,
swing
that's it.
at it, man.
And
I mean, and the same thing is, as you said, with the PVM. I mean, I can still just put on my gear, go into Krill, go and do my washing, and just come back and just pick up the the tabbing on there is just hitting the loot all every time. Just loot all. Yeah, go away, do something, come back after 3 or 4 kills, loot all.
And-
So yeah, I mean, there is a lot similar in PVM that they probably need to look at as well.
And I think when you look at, just how bad this was this week, you see, base chance of 75. Fine. Increases by 1% for every level above the unlock. Okay. You start with a 10 level boost. Okay. And then after those 10 successes, you drop by 1% per additional pickpocket until you fail or swap targets. And you don't know what that
As soon as you're below 100%, it's a gamble.
Bang. Yeah.
Yeah. And
You're caught. You're caught as soon as you're 99%. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I have ever not been caught. I have never gone below 95%. Granted, I've only done probably an hour or so, but yeah, I think 95% was the lowest I got to before I got caught and had to click again.
Yeah. And, you look at what this led to, combined with that crystal mask butchering that we were talking about, reduced from 25 to 15, and then under light form from 50 to 30. And then you also look into things like the Traherne exoskeleton being adapted, feather-fingered necklaces, shock absorbers, the cheeky monkey. What this has led to.
Oh, they broke my poor monkey.
When I was level
They
119
did.
with the master camo outfit, the mushroom bag with Oblivious on that, and crystal mask at the Wizard Tower Master Mages, which are a 106 creature. When I logged in this week, I was at 1 minute and 6 seconds of
With
AFK.
or without sticky fingers?
Oh, just wait. I had a light form,
That's a
and that
whole
only
nother-
I had a light
that's a
form, and that
whole
only
nother
went up to
thing.
115.
That's a whole other thing, but
Then
Okay.
I removed sticky fingers without light form.
okay.
1 minute 42 goes up to 150 with light form.
Okay.
But
I don't-
think
I mean,
about
that's not
this.
great.
Personally, I don't hate that number.
No,
but
it's
think about. But look at what goes behind all that. Like the one thing we learned in leagues is, the XP, the levels, it only goes so far. Like that, the skeleton, the crystal mask, all this stuff, it's locked behind such a pain of an ass mountain of content that you should be rewarded. You know what I
You should.
mean? Like that's the way I see it. But
But at
Yeah,
the
these
same
quest
time,
rewards
pickpocketing was
should-
always a active method, as were stalls. And I guess it's and this is what we'll get to in a little bit, is the expectation that every skill have an AFK
Probably.
way of training.
But you say, but since when, Shane? Because at this point,
It's
Prif comes
right.
in halfway.
It started
a
with
little more
Prif.
than half. Right, which is what, 2015? That's 10 years ago.
14.
Like 14.
Yeah.
But exactly.
You've-
then
you've helped his
14
argument.
years ago. So
No.
like-
I mean, it started in Prif came in
2014.
2014.
Oh, 2014.
So almost
even older.
12 years ago.
12 years ago. Like, it's almost as old. It's been here almost as long as it hasn't been. So it's hard to. I think it's fine because even though it was extended AFK, it was the only extended AFK like that in the game, and the only way you got to it was a mountain of stuff. What really changed was when they brought it in and applied it across the world Which, hey, I
Yeah.
didn't have a problem with that either. But for you guys that wanted that slowdown, this is probably where the problem came in
Well,
because that changed the proof identity,
I wouldn't say that it
right?
was so much about wanting a slowdown. To me, it was about finding a way for thieving to be a good skilling moneymaker.
So for you, you needed that other leg of the. Okay.
Bring out the triangles. Bring out the triangles.
Yeah.
If you
Bring out
remember,
the triangles.
when they first released Riff with the thieving there, the money making there was incredible for that those first couple of months, and they sort of drew it back. It was still a decent money maker, but as you said, the amount of content and quests that you had to do to get there, it was that is a reward for doing all those quests.
And that was my point coming into this week, is that should
that's fair.
AFK thieving be novel to Prif like it was initially designed, or, and this is the big or does thieving take cues from other modern skill training methods like fishing, woodcutting, mining, archaeology? Does it take cues from those and then have a sliding rubric of how much AFK you can do and somehow have that implement how much loot or XP you get from pickpocketing?
I think to your to your point about like, does every skill need an AFK? I think we've leaned more that way in our modern game, and that's a fine. If that's what it is, that's fine. I think if pickpocketing has become the AFK thing, that's okay. But to the point of the blogs we got later in the week, that means that something has to give. It can't be a full triangle where it's the best AFK tied with like the best XP, tied with like the best
money,
loot.
But,
and if if pickpocketing specifically is to be the best AFK, then the other parts of thieving and it need to pick up the slack in the money making. Because I think
heist, stalls, chests,
heist
exactly.
to the top. Yes, stalls and chests I think is the one that we've been missing in this conversation, where they did with the 120 thieving update put like things that were supposed to be mid activity, but they are significantly worse than pickpocketing in the XP and loot range, where if they're to be more active, they should probably be on the better side. So that way there is that middle ground that we've kind of gotten lost with that we kind of had early this week, that we've totally just, it's either full AFK and kind of worse loot, some methods that don't matter, and then there's heists, which are slightly better profit, but they're way more active.
Right.
We're missing the middle.
Exactly. Okay. I mean, AFK is that type of thing. Yeah, you're getting that. You're doing it just because you want to get a bit of XP while you're doing something else. You don't want to have to be concentrating.
Never underestimate what people AFK. Yeah,
that's it. But you shouldn't. I mean, it shouldn't be best money makers, and it shouldn't be the top XP earner.
Right,
because
we were looking at 1.4 mil an hour. I just want to get that 1.4 ish to 1.6.
Okay,
XP out there.
Then that kind of brings up then what is what is the most active play, because you guys didn't like safe cracking either, right? Like that was too good, and so I mean, and that was
no we like safe. So, I don't think we had a problem with safe cracking. I think the XP was a little overboard, but exactly right.
It goes hard.
You were doing that. You were doing that for pilfer points, and you get the occasional rare one you could trade in for a few.
But at the same time, that only went to 99.
It was,
but in the context of a 120 skill now, it makes sense. I think.
Yeah, and that's right. XP heavy, money low.
But money low, and it's skilling. Money low, no matter what. Like no. You're never going to make a lot of money. So like to me, the whole money thing it's just not.
No, well, yeah, but again, risk versus reward, and I mean,
there's no risk in PVM anymore either.
True. Well, there is for me. I mean, I'm talking the average player. I'm not talking your high end players. I still can't do Nakatra by myself. I mean, God Wars 2, Iraq. I mean, I die at Araxor probably 5% of the time I go there. Once every 20 kills, I'll probably die. But it is a pain in the ass, and you are concentrating on the screen. High should be a top money maker because you are concentrating on the screen. Big Game Hunter should be a good money maker because you're concentrating on the screen. That's where your money side of things should be coming in, when you're concentrating, focusing on the game. Yes, I know there are people who can do their builds and setups and switches and can do all that and sort of half AFK top level bosses and such, but that's 2% of
But here's the
population.
clincher, folks. They fixed the AFK this week.
They made it, yes, more amenable.
They made it to something that the Reddit was actually okay with. But there is
I
think overcorrected, but
okay.
No,
there is a profitability balance incoming at some point too.
Yeah, but okay, guys, they fixed the AFK, yes, but what they did is they grabbed somebody by the shirt after they punched him in the face to hold him up, and they've got their hand behind their back, and they're waiting until next week, because next week they're going to punch you 70% of the time, though. It won't be as bad as last week, just 70%.
but that's it. And I think this was a very smart tool that they've done, a very smart method that they've used this week, where they dropped a doozy on Monday, and everyone's like, "Oh my God." Come Thursday, hey, we're dropping in these cold fixes. Everyone's happy, and I think this is pretty much perfect.
And they're coming back with the 1-2 though.
Been.
Like,
but
it
ain't
right. Done. Coming back
let
with
me
the
go
right,
into.
Someone
let me
like
go.
yourself still
Since you
happy,
mentioned the cold fix, let me go into the Thursday numbers on this.
Yep.
Now those same master mages, I got 120 by that point, so add an additional level to it. Fine. The master camo outfit, the mushroom bag, oblivious, and crystal mask there. You'll note there's no light form involved in this. 10 minutes, 12 seconds. So my crystal mask ended, and then I went for another 5 minutes and 12 seconds on top of that.
Yeesh. Oh, you didn't even renew.
No. If I would have renewed, I would have been able to continue
which is
perpetuity.
perfect.
Yeah.
Because you're still having to go in that.
That's like
but
clicking. That's like
you've
renewing your strength.
That crystal
right?
mask.
Like,
I mean, these are high level quest rewards that should give you tangible rewards, and this is a tangible reward that helps you out. So
then
I have no issue with that.
If I went to Fairy Traders this week after the cold fix, same thing. No light form. 4 minutes 27 seconds. Add light form. Went to 5 minutes 16 seconds, so a little bit beyond that, and I didn't renew the mask there, so I got 16 seconds of it without the mask. Virelords 4:37, and then bam! As soon as mask ended, when light form was active, went to 5 minutes.
And that sounds decent to me at your level.
I'm okay with that.
And also
I'm okay with those 5 minute numbers.
there's nothing wrong with 5 minutes.
A ring of beater and whatnot in there too.
And even like I don't think there's anything wrong with 5 minutes. That's still probably on par or better than any of the other AFK.
I like where it's matching the crystal mass timer. Once going past that, I'm a little but if it's matching keeping the upkeep, then that feels right for you got crystal mass. Let's make sure we're using crystal mass. But
I'm at 5 minutes at better XP rates than what it currently is, right? Like I'm not at 5 minutes and no, let's make it half as good.
Right, because they did do a 30% reduction in XP to give that XP.
Yeah, because like I said, like XP is only one piece of the pie in this game when it comes to progression. So I don't think it should be a penalty either. You know, like
but also, let me put it this way. You've hit 120, Shane. Are you going to continue training to 200?
Probably not.
Exactly. And that's the majority. I mean, there are the idiots like me out there who will sit there and try and go for 200 mil all just because it's there, and I have that OCD. I've got to complete things. But most people are going to hit their 99s or their 120s or their 110s.
If anything, I might do heist as a moneymaker.
Well, exactly. So, and that's the thing. I'm getting to 120 because I can now use this to just as a money maker side of things, which is what PVM does. I'm going to get all my levels up to max because then I can go PVM and make my money makers. And that's what I want to see in there. Some high level content on skilling that is lean forward, I'm engrossed in, and I'm making money. And I should be able, in that type of thing, when I'm maxed out, I should be making, not probably top boss PVM levels, but decent GP levels, with some of those sort of mid to higher tier bosses.
You know what, Pern? We had that actually. We had that. And we had that with pickpocketing with the old dwarf traders before everything changed, when you still had to put them in the corner, put the guards in the corner and stuff, right? I know,
PTSD.
but at that time, that was the best XP rate. It was the best loot. I mean, it was good loot, might not be the best loot. I mean, and it was, you talk about lean forward. I mean, I remember doing, hell, we did skill of the month contest. I remember that was still the era I was doing drawer traders like that.
But
like,
again, was that an intentional game mechanic?
I'm sure it
was.
was.
It something?
No, it definitely was not.
Hey,
Just like,
look how we can cheese this system and get him over there and do this.
right.
So see, I want things designed
lean forward
with the
though.
intention of doing it the right way.
Yeah.
So
yeah, but it was lean forward with every click, right? Like you had to pickpocket every time.
But you're also going back 15, 20 years.
And it also comes down to, like, what is the identity for thieving, right? That's why I mentioned things like archaeology and mining, is because you have varying levels of AFK that you can do there. And I think the question is there a desire to have some sort of AFK measure included in pickpocketing, or is that, like, I honestly think that's beyond the scope of what the work they're doing now. But I think people would like that.
I think that was a very interesting comment that happened during the stream this week, where they said that when they were doing the 120 thieving update, they landed on thieving could, as a identity, have it makes money because it's thieving. You're stealing things. It should be profitable. Yep. I don't know if that means that it then has to hamstring itself on the AFK side, or if it just means it has like different levels of AFK to not AFK money making. I don't know if they got that far, and maybe they're currently asking themselves that right now as they figure out how AFK or not it is, because clearly when at the 120 thieving update, it was extremely AFK, and they just said that's its identity, it makes money. So maybe still a little in flux, but I guess that's where we've kind of gotten is thieving makes money.
Yeah, that live stream was very right there when revealing because they were so upfront with that. Go ahead, Pern.
Yeah,
I was just saying, I think what you said there is very pertinent to our discussion. It is in flux. We are. This is the first one they're sort of doing. They're checking things. They're going back. They're making sure, and that's what I love. It wasn't just dumped it and said, "Well, okay, we'll revisit in a month's time," But they were watching carefully. 4 days later, okay, we've got a bit of feedback now. We've seen what's happening. We get this fix in. And I think they'll learn from that. And I think other than the money side of things, I still think we need a proper, and I think heists go a long way towards that. I still think we need more heists. I'd like
add
to see
one
them
below
come in around
level 95,
yeah, exactly.
right?
I'd like to see them come in around the 80 mark. And maybe have a couple of different ones in the sort of higher level that sort of offer different money making things. But I think it's in a pretty good place at the moment, personally.
So, Pern, that made me think about another good thing that came from this week. There, I think, has been so much kind of goodwill build up and trust build up, but both directions between the community and Jagex, that when there was this back and forth, of course there's always a jackass here and there. But this seemed more constructive and better than in previous times.
You know,
I think
I have
we
to say
definitely-
how it went down this week reminded me about how a lot of these sort of overtune or undertune reactions go on old school.
I think we got there. I do think we were slightly extremely on fire between the update dropping and the stream they did. But as soon as we got to the stream, I think that reassured people that they were talking about it still and putting out more blogs and stuff. I think we might have there might have been an immediate reaction of like, oh, it's all gotten fuck shit already. It's over.
But I mean,
I did
got
see
there.
a bit of that on Monday. Yeah, I did see a bit of that on Monday or Tuesday. For
There was
me,
a couple of hours where we were a little.
Right. But I only saw
doomsdaying.
I only saw
It got back fast.
I only saw one piper out there piping. I didn't see the regular peanut gallery cast of characters start, echoing. Maybe it was. Maybe I was just tuned out.
No, we definitely
it felt different. I thought
in the past it spirals. It's like it just keeps going and going and nothing. There's a response 3 weeks later or something. Like it got course corrected very fast, and people were like, okay, we're still talking. We're still talking.
And that's important because it sets the tone for what happens with daily challenges. Avernick, you sent me a very, very apt emoji this week. I won't say what the emoji was. People on video will see it as a benefit when I asked you a question about daily challenges.
I feel like we got past that hysteria very, very fast. It got replaced with new hysteria, but
but
like the governments, just you keep throwing different things out there to just take your mind.
Yeah.
Oh, look, that's happening. We'll do this out here. And look, now we're doing this out here.
Did you guys see that Obama said that aliens were real?
Yeah,
I didn't see that.
and then he said they were.
Aliens
Thanks,
are real. We just
Obama.
haven't met them yet. I mean, there's the size of our.
I don't know what you're talking about, Pert. I met a few. I've met a few at the grocery store. I've met aliens all over the place.
And we won't bring up ice here. So.
Anyways, that was just about hysteria. But
Yeah. And that's it, yeah.
Their Thursday update touched everything. Crystal Mask, the starting success chance was changed by adding more buffs based on the level that you were at.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the biggest thing that was also addressed was that Sticky Fingers, when it first came out for those first few days, was an actual penalty to you.
Well, not 100% penalty. You still got loot faster. It was just
But you died a lot quicker.
You signed yourself up to AFK. Like,
you just couldn't AFK
less.
as much.
Yeah.
So they made the relic reduce the above threshold to 0.17 per attempt, which should balance it out because previously it was 1 level per attempt. So that was brought down with the update to 0.25. So Sticky Fingers brings it down to 0.17. So I thought that was necessary to bring up there as well with that. But I mean,
it's
go ahead.
I was gonna say, yeah, no, it's less of a I'm paying twice as much attention now button than that you might have trapped yourself in accidentally.
Yeah. And I mean, even with the 30% XP reduction, you're still looking at, around 1 million XP an hour for these things that came out with the
Great
120 thieving update.
The 120 goal, yeah.
Which I mean, again, goes to more philosophical question about what AFK is, which I think we can move on to shortly. But is there anything else about numbers in general of that ship this week?
The only thing I sort of took issue with was a huge reduction in the Traherne skeleton, because again, it is a reward from a quest. I think taking it from 25 down to 10 was a bit extreme. I would have liked to see it, around that maybe 15-20% mark. But that's only one small thing.
Did they touch Gloves of Silence as well?
They didn't mention it that I saw.
Okay, so you could probably replace the entire then Master Camouflage outfit with the Gloves of Silence. I mean, they degrade, but that'd get it back.
Yeah, Gloves of Silence
it only inherits the effect, but I guess now it doesn't inherit 1-to-1.
All right. Well, with that being said, I want to thank some Patreon members. Big, huge thank you this week goes out to Alvaro L, Amos Reed, Arvids L, Bambino, Bladecom, Chilbura, Dominic R, Duramax, Gila Fleur, Imperialis, Jade Gizmo, Jason S, Jesse W, Julia W, Kesky, Lemon Lodge, Luminos, Mattman, Mighty Myth, Michelle M, Mike Wings, Mongrath, Pernasius, Ricky A, Robbie D, Rob Sobs, Samuel FL, Scott DS, Shirt Pants, Smavin, Snail Mage, Tabby, The Naked Captain, The Dabbing Goat, Tim, Ukulele Steve, Woody, Zant, and Zazakon. Big, huge thank you, everybody. And if you're wondering what all this is about, head on over to patreon.com/RSBNB. And there we have 3 tiers of support available presently, starting for as little as $1 a month. You can sign up and you'll get a mention in our show notes, access to the full monthly bit library, and voting rights on monthly bit topics. And I mentioned we were voting on what the next monthly bit is going to be. And if I look at the votes right now for the March monthly bit poll, yeah, the options are Dungeoneering Rework, Identity Behind the Rebrand, and the Social Spark. A Dungeoneering Rework monthly bit where we talk about what Dungeoneering could be about is winning with 89% of the vote.
Makes sense.
So it's like, how do we take Dungeoneering into the current year? If you want to hear us talk about that, sign up patreon.com/RSBANDB.
And my idea of making it an hourly D&D of a whole, you just jump in every hour for 5 minutes, was met with derision.
Oh, show's done.
It's going to be a little bit more involved than that, but we got some ideas already percolating there. We also have our community tier for $3 a month, where you get access to a Discord channel, a Discord rank, and a monthly shout out at the top of the month, plus high quality stereo audio. We'll also from time to time ask you for monthly bit ideas and discussion topics on quiet weeks. Then, of course, we have our insider tier, where you get expanded clips from the pre and post shows, clips that go to the clip show at the end of the year, and of course the RSBANDB update Christmas card come December. So if any of that sounds interesting to you, or if you just want to support the community, patreon.com/RSBNB. Thanks so much, everyone. All right. So let's just get into, some of these questions here. Like, what is AFK? And this is part of the reason I wanted you here, Tanis, is because we had so many back and forth discussions in leagues about how do you skill in RuneScape and how do you optimize that. You got an entire crew with that. So, to you, what is AFK?
To me, AFK is that sliding scale that you're talking about. And it's not something that we necessarily have, but I do believe in building and increasing that in those setups. I also think that AFK is an important aspect, and it needs to be a method in most most skills, especially these kinds of skills, because not all of them are compelling gameplay, right? Like,
I can see where you're going, with that, because there's skills in game, like you say, that don't have compelling gameplay. One of the ones, agility is one. Crafting is another, I think.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, they talk about the triangles, and we've talked about the 3-legged stools, and that's all fine and good. But I also think that in the same way someone on the PVM side can literally deck themselves out to a point where they can do, like Prince said, go do their laundry. there should be equivalency on the skilling side as well. And I don't want to hear about the GP thing because once again, you balance that GP. I mean, you can balance that GP because PVM is better than any scaling. Just off the bat, it doesn't matter. So if you can have that, then I think we could have parity on the other side.
Yeah, and the one thing that I want to come in with that in terms of AFK in particular is an acknowledgement that, and I go back to my thesis for the year on this, which I'm just going to pull up right now, because I look at these sentences, the 2 sentences I wrote last month, and I think these are going to be my most important sentences of the year, and it was about the road to restoration stuff. RuneScape does not need to be old school. A return to a style of content grounded in a medieval fantasy world, combined with the road to restoration, has the immense potential to save RuneScape. I think those are my 2 most important sentences I'm going to write this year, because we need to have a discussion or an acknowledgement from the community towards Jagex, a back and forth with some sort of acknowledgement of where is the acceptability of AFK in this game. Because, people say, well, there's no real AFK methods in old school, and the gemstone crab would like a word, shooting stars would like a word. But when you look at things like pickpocketing, yeah, there's no AFK there. Mining is our pre-mining and smithing rework mining. So my point is there needs to be a discussion amongst the community, and Jagex needs to have this discussion with the community as to what is acceptable in terms of AFK across the game. That's my take on what needs to happen.
Something else that I feel like has exasperated this was when the logout timer was increased. Because that used to be a hard cap on AFK. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it didn't matter. It was going to log out. Only when that was taken away does this AFK discussion even become such a big discussion. I think Shane's right. Like, I hate it when people want RS3 to be old school. It's like, you have old school already. Go play old school. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you won that vote too back in 2012. Okay, so like, whatever, go play that. We this should be the game that does have some modern convenience. At the same time, like, putting the game back to more of a sense of its identity is a good thing. It's just, yeah, there's going to be a lot more back and forth than and there's going to be more good come from that back and forth than I initially thought. I thought, Jagex was going to do what they're going to do, and you're going to suck it up, and that's going to be it, bud. And I was going to be standing in the corner going, that's what you get, because I'm just.
You make a very good point. I didn't even consider the logout timer. But yeah, I mean, it used to be 5 minutes, and you used to have to click every 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And yeah, now, as I said, when I'm doing washing and doing the housework, thieving is my go-to, because I would just go, yep, go bang. I'm always going to need the stuff for archaeology, so just go pickpocket some archaeology people to get all the components for that while I'm doing that, and I could disappear. As I said, every 15 minutes I just come back and tap the keyboard as I walk past, and that was it. So yeah.
And I'd still like, and the difference for me is really nothing when it would come to the thief. It was that timer. My guy was gonna pickpocket till the timer ran out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because I was getting up and going to do something or this or that, and I mean, and I would still do that. I mean, if I'm
But
if
you
I'm
don't,
fishing
yeah.
or whatever, I would press that and then go do something, knowing that I had 5 minutes. It was only going to be 5 minutes. I was,
Exactly, yeah. You'd be back in 5.
yeah,
But that's
and
it. I mean, we've got fishing that'll do that, but only at the Ghostly Souls. I don't
yeah, I
think
was going to say, and
anything
most of the
else.
time, you're never even going to get that long, right?
Hmm.
So
I
it's,
don't think anything. Oh well, archaeology, but it will stop once you get a relic.
An artifact,
Because
yeah.
yeah, once you
Yeah.
get an artifact, it just pops up and stops. But other than those, I mean, there's nothing else like it with thieving out there. that
yeah. I
can
mean,
think of.
mining you can do. It gets real
You can do
shitty
the
after a
Saren
while,
stones.
Well,
but you can,
Yeah.
but you can do, yeah, you can do Saren stones.
Oh, I've never done Seven Stones, so
Yeah, they're
I didn't
actually
realize.
amazing for AFK. What about you, Avernick?
Okay.
What's your perception on where AFK lands in terms of what it should be?
It's interesting to think about it as like a newer thing because I don't know if I ever thought about it as like a I like AFK play. I feel and I feel like what it does for me is it bridges the gap playing the game between bigger content things I want, either new things or things that I'm going for or want to do. So it keeps me engaged in the game and the community and the whatnot, even on a slump, I guess. So I do think there's a lot of value there, and I think that it's popular. It just is popular. Like
Yeah.
I think it's here to stay. There's no erasing it. There's no there's no gutting it out. It's part of the DNA of the game. And yeah, that does mean that sometimes you're dealing with a bunch of people who are
there's
all
this-
playing a second game at the same time
Like,
or
there's
watching a
this
TV
thing
show or a movie. Yeah.
that they put out
It- it-
that
it's a
is
great
that's the invitation to
argument
do
for the mobile.
AFK.
Yeah. It's thoroughly in the blood of the game at this point, and I think it's better we figure out where it fits than say it's everything or nothing. It's a piece of the puzzle, and it has its place sometimes, and it maybe it doesn't other times. But it's good. It is good for the game. I think.
Yeah,
that we've
and
landed on that
their
as a core.
answer to this question that I just been asking around here is that they feel the baseline AFK time should be around the 4 to 6 minute range, aligning with buffs like Crystal Mask. And for players who invest into levels, gear, and additional boosts, you can extend it even further. So that's their sense on what they want AFK to be predictable as. And I think it's
important, yeah.
and I think it's important to highlight this because there should be this sort of discussion had whenever AFK is going to come up when things are undoubtedly touched and rebalanced this year. So,
And
Go
well,
ahead.
I just wanted to, I have to ask you, Shane, like when they're talking about the predictability, and I really like what they're saying with this, right? Like I like the kind of framework they're setting up.
Yeah.
But when we start talking about each skill having its own identity and, does this only apply to the thieving? Because I would love to see predictability in some of the other AFK activities. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like if it was a thing where you
Fishing.
build up through your gear and because we know that levels really don't mean all that much. It's quest. It's all this other stuff.
I think
Anyway.
that was the thing looking at the Monday release that first hit me was like, damn, I wish there was like some buff bar, some thing that said when I'm good and when I'm not good. I wanted to know what the level of AFK was at any time. And I think that
they added that
something
through the game.
they
fil-
did.
Game
Yes,
messages.
that was in my opinion the one of the most important things. Like I think that like Eternal Magic woodcutting having a set bar where you know how long it lasts and whatnot.
Oh,
That's
Love
huge.
that.
That's a good example.
You have to be able
Love
to.
that.
Part of AFKing is planning in a way. Like you do prep and you think about it and you set yourself up to not think about it. But you have to know what those times are. And so when I'm doing something like Eternal Magics or even like Zygamite hairstyling or anything like with a little bar above it,
You and
that
your
is a
hairstyling.
great. I love that. I love that thing. I did that in leagues way more than I should have. AFKing in leagues. I think that those systems help to make an AFK thing more so it's just better, but like
Would you say more predictable?
more predictable. Yeah, if it's unpredictable, like that, any range, like we were saying earlier, once your success chance goes under 99%, it's not guaranteed anymore. You could get caught right then. It's not AFK anymore. Like it's time spent AFK not doing something. That's the worst. That
No, and it's like fishing. You can click on a spot and it could last 5 minutes, or it could last 15 seconds.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, how many times we've done that? Okay, this spot's just popped up. I'm clicking on it. I'll go flick on the coffee. I'll come back. It's gone.
I think it's a very important element to anything that we're making AFK is going to be that set timers.
Yep. Love that idea. And I'd like to see that across the board.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would
So
too.
that's why I think it's important to have a good baseline and a good lesson here of what AFK is. And I think the next thing that comes from this that we've all been talking about, and the fishing example is great for it, predictability versus randomness, in such as has RS and our game succeeded or failed in the past at readable AFK systems for skills. I think we have great examples in archaeology, mining, and the eternal woodcutting that are readable. But then you have the stuff that's completely off the beaten track, like the fishing spots that were there. So, with that,
like again, I've just clicked on a fresh blue blubber spot. I caught one, and now it's turned green.
And I've got to put like archaeology and mining both have you moving. Like,
yeah, there's an opt-in.
There's not a lot of. Well, I mean, I guess that's true, but
I actually very rarely jump to the optimum spots.
Wow.
Unless I am watching, because half the time I'm folding the washing, it's going beside me. Yeah, that's fine. Oh yeah, okay. I'm sitting back. Yeah, I'll click on it now, but I'm not watching it intently, and I like that idea.
You know, it's funny that they went this route for which, you know, you see kind of more like the Eternal Magic timer type routes versus the time sprite where you could have had someone that was visibly or had some kind of symbol of they're not paying attention.
Sure, like a bonus for clicking off to something else.
Right,
but the thing is that
here.
In some cases you only have one or two of the NPCs, and they're spread out across huge
Yeah.
distances.
They would have had to have set routes or standing or bring in wandering or something.
They don't have to have it at every one though. There could be this is special to this spot. Like
I love
with your
when they do that stuff.
With your archaeology thieving people that they've done now. I mean, because again, that's your click, and I was just walking away for 15 minutes every time I was doing those. But if you had one that popped up that had a better chance at dropping double loot or something, if you clicked on him, you know, it gives you 10 seconds of double loot, or you'd be watching and going, yeah, I'm clicking over there, and you're interacting with the game.
Yeah.
But I think that also gets to a core bit of the thieving code and the way pickpocketing works that doesn't exist right now, which would be on the scope of balancing.
That's probably a major work rather than.
So the question is, you know, one, overall in the past, is what we got on Monday where it wasn't readable, is that part and parcel for what AFKing is, or have the AFK methods that people have come to rely on over the last number of years all been better telegraphed?
I think they've been better telegraphed.
Yeah,
across the board.
Okay.
Randomness used to play a much bigger part in RuneScape until I think we've collectively said, please no. Because I think randomness is fun when you're a kid, and we were kids playing this game and going, oh boy, look, they offered me a sandwich. Oh, look, I'm in a maze. You know, and now we're like, oh, you're just interrupting my freaking plan.
I feel like randomness now like kills our optimization as much as maybe as little as optimized as this group of people is. Still, we still want to. If you're AFKing, you want to be doing the thing the entire time, not like looking back. I missed out on 10, 15 seconds because
Yep.
random things stop me.
Yep. And
Yeah,
even
well, I
the
mean,
like,
the amount of Seren spirits I've lost,
yeah.
and every time I lose one, there's a Hazelmere's ring.
But like even like your AFK activities from back then really reflect that, fishing. It reflects that.
They had random breakup times.
Mhm.
So is what we got in the cold fix then um, a sufficient way to, I guess, rebuild the community's trust in the process and a good marker of what AFK ability looks like going forward?
No, because we're not done yet. This is only the part that they're holding us up. They haven't hit
Because we
everyone
haven't
with
got
the
the
right
profitability
hand.
changes yet.
And the profitability changes doesn't even bother me, right? Because or maybe I've been out of the market so long, on the GIM or whatever, but it's the XP that I think is a bigger issue. Because as
for an
much as
Iron
I
Man
say it's
player.
not, and levels don't really mean that much, I still think that that could be better.
Oh, it means a lot.
So
Means a lot.
yeah.
And that's it. And it's as you said, playing on the Iron Man. I mean, XP is far more important than GP, whereas on the main, it's the other way around.
Yeah. But on my main, I've never made money anything anyway.
You
like
are a
so.
little, you are the outlier though, because you're,
He's immune to money.
I seriously, it's like I'm allergic.
Well, no, good.
I still
like you guys might not be aware of this, but there's an argument to be made that the most efficient business, unless they're trying to make notes to shareholders, as is the thing many businesses do in this day and age, will invest as much of their profit as they can. And I think a lot of people who are skillers and whatnot play RuneScape like that, where they don't maintain huge cash stacks. They put it back into the game to buying things that will help them.
It's nothing to invest in, really. Let's not talk about merchanting, but like having a large stack of money does nothing for you, other than you get to stare at it. Really, like it doesn't earn interest.
Exactly. I mean, I got two max. I've got two max cash stacks, or the old max cash stacks, and it's like, yeah, they're sitting there. If something pops up, yeah, I'll buy one of those. So like when the new Halloween masks come out, I've got I'll just buy one. So
you start earning money when you run out of things to buy. Yeah.
But that's it. But I mean, it's always there. So when they release a new weapon and the previous best in slot goes to second best in slot and comes down to a reasonable price, bang, I can buy it because I don't do high end bossing. I don't need best. Yeah. So second best in slot that I can pick up for 300 or 400 mil, perfect. And I've always got that money sitting there to just grab that when I need to.
So overall, would we say that thieving is now, closer to the mining and archaeology style of gameplay, where you can have sufficient AFK and still be
closer,
but positive in XP and GP?
You're definitely positive.
I think they're probably 75% of the way there.
I think so because, like, I think that it is okay to have an AFK method that is good in either XP or GP, even both, I dare say it, if it is restricted and kind of locked behind a lot of different content or gear setups, and so I think they did land in the right spot.
Yeah,
I would like to see them figure out what to do with that middle band of chests installed. I think that there's still a big I don't know what the hell we're doing there. Question mark.
Well, yeah, and see, a lot of those chests when they came out back in November were just really bad. Really bad.
Yes, and they continue to be
chests.
Lucky for them, I think that it's a good opportunity there as well, because right now the pickpocketing reward space is overflowing, whereas we only have like the new ring for chests installed, so like they could definitely do a little more there with buffing it up and figuring out where it sits. And yeah, they have to do a base fix first, but then you could build up the rewards.
Chess would be a nice one to have a nice wow moment drop from them. You know,
there could be, and that could fill a GP role if people are worried about that, right?
Yeah,
like
I think so.
I got on the screen right now the graph for Steam runes that were hovering at about 2,000 GP before the thieving changes. Now they're about 300 GP.
Yeesh.
But again, Steam runes are only used really for the Rune Goldberg machine,
which is going away.
We don't have that anymore.
Yep. Bye.
There's a Rune Goldberg on too. Oh yeah, because
it's part of DailyScape.
It's part of the daily fix.
It'll be going away.
It's not going yet.
How are we going to get Viswax to?
You don't need it because they're getting rid of all that stuff too.
They're getting rid of ores and daily challenges.
Yeah, but I still use it to do my fast teleports.
They're bringing that in another way.
They said that they're going to try to work out what fast teleports.
Yeah.
I've seen things like they'll just charge law runes or something. I don't know.
That'd be great. Oh, that would be even better. If they just charge law rune, or they charge runes to, you put in 1,000 runes and you get 1,000 fast charges. Fantastic. I like that idea better.
And just because we won't be able to say it much, as Mod Stu says, remember, it's not Viswax, it's Weezewax.
Weezewax. Oh, I hate it.
Wizwax?
Sometimes
Weezewax.
Bloody. It's a
they say words, and I'm like, those aren't the words.
No. I'm an Aussie. You say it as it says it's spelled.
All right. Then we get to, the iconic triangles that came out this week. AFK as progression reward versus, the baseline. Or sorry, the next part is my triangles. I got ahead of myself. AFK as a progression reward versus baseline expectations. And the line from the news post that says this is that longer AFK sessions are something that they want people to earn through progression and setup. So with that, with the Thursday patches, how do we feel about the value of things like the Trahearn exoskeleton and the crystal mask and Lightform? Because those are all huge investments that fit into this sort of progression reward category.
So these were a lot better, and to me, it kind of brought in the fact that you were resetting the counter with every recast. Made it feel more like a mining or something like that, right? Like where you were clicking. And it was also like, man, that was a hard quest. Like that was another one of them damn laser quests, and that sucked. So I want a reward worthy of it.
And that's it. I think 10% is not great. I said it earlier on the Trahearn. I think it deserves more than that for what you've gone through to earn it.
Yeah, like the principles are all there. I don't know if the numbers are, but that's what I want them to do, right? Like what they're saying is what I want. I don't really know if it's there yet. I haven't done a ton of testing, but it's closer than it was on Monday.
Yeah, well, like I said, my numbers, the fairy traders applying the mask and the outfit and everything, you're able to basically get to mask time with that, which I think is what people wanted when you add Lightform to it. So, you look at that and you realize, well, that's one way that they leaned into this. I wonder then, with this, if there's an opportunity going forward to amplify XP for you, Tanis, and to amplify profit for me through other horizontal rewards in this category.
Sure. Yeah.
Well, and I think there are. I mean, that's one of the hard lessons that we learn in leagues, right? Like leagues becomes a time management thing, and like there's so much progression behind quest, behind this task set or this obscure half of a quest mini activity. There's all these little idiosyncratic things that are just RuneScape, and by just looking at progression as this, as XP and XP only, we really missed the picture. I just think I've missed the picture, for many years.
Well, yeah, thieving
Even though I'm sitting here
fundamentally
playing the
changes
game.
as you progress through the Ardoin task sets, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Not to plug my usual elite skilling outfit rant, but I think that Shane, something you said about like different horizontal rewards changing whether something's either more profitable or more AFK. I think that's something that we still don't have in skilling, is like the ability to like gear one way or the other,
yeah,
because everything has
true,
over
yeah.
time just become the same thing, and now that we have this pile of everything is together, it's all kind of getting nerfed together. Where if they were split, maybe you could have the outfit that's more AFK and the outfit that's more extra pickpockets or whatever.
yeah.
And
Could you imagine
serve
if one of
different
the outfit sets came from the heist that made it so you got more loot?
Or even different offhands.
Yeah, even
Right,
different
like-
outfit. Yeah, any gear slot. The outfit's easy to poke holes at because it's like half of the equipment slots all in one. But yeah, every individual item can have. If there were alternatives, then maybe we wouldn't be having such a everything is banking on the way pickpocketing works. That's
a really good idea. A good point.
Well, that's it. And when you look at because there is so much in PVM on different setups and such, but
yeah,
you're right. I mean, on skilling, you've got one setup and that's it.
No choice.
And then you can lean into the AFK
the
side as well, like you were saying, Tanis, to give you more AFK time or more XP.
Yeah, I'm just looking at it as vertical integration, right? Like we're just stacking as much as.
But horizontal.
It's always how it's been.
Yeah, horizontal. Yeah.
Right, but horizontal provides the most fun and the most game design and the most drop options.
That makes sense. And even getting. And we see that in rewards. We've seen that in quest rewards on the PVM side. Look at the Sun Spear. As Iron Man, we all remember how that comes in pretty damn clutch for a while. We could have the same kind of thing on the offhand side over here.
It's still my magic weapon that I'm using because I can't get a decent magic weapon.
Yeah.
Right. Like you could have a money variant versus the XP variant, or what have you. Even an AFK variant, like
trying to build up on my heist so I can on the gimp so I can try and get some of those weapons out of there.
Do you think that players are okay this week? Like, I feel like
okay. Let's check on them.
Let me finish that. Like, I think that what we got this week is a good example of how you can successfully pivot after that live stream. So do you think that players are okay with the AFK changes that were made this week by tying it to that progression reward?
I mean, I don't think you were on during. There was a big discussion in our clan chat that, and yeah, it was sort of more with the usual negative Nancy's who are in there after the first drop on Monday. But sort of what I saw sort of late last night and this morning, it has been better. I think people have been generally happy with the cold fixes that come in.
And like the thumbs up reactions, the Reddit post reactions and whatnot.
Yes.
Were all very favorable, which surprised me to be 100% honest with you guys.
Well, yeah, that's why like I think the kids are gonna be all right. I mean, the kids are all right. Like this is the first time
there's ways through it. Yeah.
That yes, there was negativity from certain areas that I would have expected negativity no matter what the story would have been. At the same time, it was encouraging to see what I thought were legitimate points, reasonable arguments, and coming into it in a center point. I think we're fine, but it does remain to be seen what effects will the other nerf part.
The profitability
You know,
nerf.
well, and they call it profitability, but honestly, it's the XP side that worries me because I just don't see profit.
They're done touching the
thieving.
XP side.
The XP's done, yeah.
So it's only the amount of items.
It's only the loot that's left to do. Yeah.
They did the XP.
Yeah.
In the cold fix.
In the cold fix, so that
Yeah.
one is
They did
already
the
there.
XP
It's already
and the
live,
AFK
yeah.
time in the cold fix.
Then
Yeah.
they'll be fine. You know what? Because ain't nobody gonna notice because
Yeah.
What's your thieving level on the game, Perrin?
I am at. Where am I? Thieving is. Where's thieving? There it is, 105.
Okay, so not at the fairy thing yet, because I was thinking,
No.
maybe we need to stock up on charms again with that, and no life thieving.
Well, there's
Before
30% more of them.
Well, there's 30% more of them, yeah.
Oh, I got plenty of charms anyway. I've hit 99, so I don't.
Oh,
need
okay, you can
charms.
share.
Hit me up when you want them. I haven't put them in the bank because there's no space in the bank.
Yeah, we gotta do some questing. I gotta do some questing for that. Okay, so overall, I think players have caught on to this and have been okay with it, and I think this is a good time to grab that horse and ride it. And I'm talking to Jagex there. Grab the horse and ride it, and give us things that modify AFK sessions. Give us things that modify loot. Give us things that modify XP within the skills in one way or another.
And you
Little nips
dirty-minded
and
people
tucks
out there, he did say horse, HORSE.
What's a horse? I live in Gillinor.
Grab the unicorn.
Yes, there we
Jump
go.
on the unicorn.
My sensibilities. They've been saved.
Boy, are we all Christian children here or something? Okay.
I was raised Catholic, but I'm atheist.
All right, let's get to the triangles now in terms of XP, GP, and AFK ability here. This is the perfect infographic this week that was posted with it. Obviously, there's no numbers associated, but you see exactly how far the Monday changes went inwards into reducing that AFK. So their profitability will adjust things otherwise, albeit slightly with that. So I guess the thing that we mentioned with this is the quote from the post: reducing the XP of pickpocketing to around 70% of its current rate, and then with that you'll also have a profitability drop at some point in the future. So I think the big question here is that 70% target consistent with what we'd expect from AFK training? And I know you guys had this wonderful discussion, you, Tanis, and Pern, on our Leagues episode with, XP should just be coming fast and furious here.
Not anyone with the changes that they're bringing in. I'm back to my old ways.
Okay.
I like this slow down. So,
all right,
because we are getting more actual gameplay, and that's all I ask. And I did not think that they would be able to do it, but I think they've proven that they can give us some reasonable mid-level gameplay with decent XP and, semi-decent rewards. So I think we are we're not there, but we're getting very close to being there.
all right.
I'm still where I was, 100%, and probably even more so. I think if you want to ask people to give you active gameplay, then you need to provide them with a couple things. One, a much better rate, and two, compelling gameplay, right? Like, it needs to be fun. It needs to be,
so basically needs to be the
want to
heist.
be engaging, right? And so if you're going to have the AFK and say that that's 70% less than the absolute top number that you could reach in any method or in the most forward gameplay, okay. But I want to see that going up rather than down, right? Like I
So
think
you
they
want
should
to
be
see that
raised.
going up for active play or for AFK?
Well, it all goes up, right?
Oh,
Instead
oh,
of
I see.
instead
So
of
just
bringing
everything
AFK
up. Got
down,
it. Got it. Okay.
yes, yeah, going the other way, um, because like I want to see the emphasis on the gear, on the stacking, on the planning. That's what I find more compelling.
Okay.
So,
So that kind of then feeds back into our progression reward system then, because you can have those progression reward outfits then, or items even offhands, what have you, hypothetical ones, lean into one of those specific trade-offs then, basically, right?
yes,
That's kind
imagine
of where you're
exactly.
Yeah.
Yes,
You
yes.
imagine as you're building up your crafting, you can make different outfits that'll give you a benefit, in other skills rather than just magic armor. Now
And you
imagine
see,
I can craft something
Pern,
that
and you see, Pern, that's the benefit with Treasure Hunter Gone. Previously, those outfits would have been monetized.
Exactly, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But that's it. I mean, we've got our elite shark outfits and all that for our top end. But what's wrong with having one that I can put together that I'm fishing and I can get a shark head. So using that shark head or scale a shark, and I can use that and I can craft that into an outfit that's going to give me a 2% benefit, that extra catch, maybe an extra, it's going to give me the extra 5% XP at level 50. Rather than having to wait until I'm sort of level 80 by the time,
And
70 when
here's
you start earning the things. But yeah,
and here's an important thing: don't tie these outfit pieces to invention going forward. Invention's
No.
a bad
Yeah,
skill.
It's already
No.
overdone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it should be something
skilling.
skilling related.
The skill itself,
Yeah.
crafting,
Yeah.
a combination, whatever. Yeah.
Exactly. You can, you're bringing in crafting. You're using, say I can gut my sharks, make some new use for sharks, or a fish at that level. So tuna when you're level 30, you're gutting it, you're making an outfit that's going to give you that, even if it's gloves and boots that do it. But
Yeah.
it is just for that. You're using it for 10 or so levels. Even if you have to charge it up with runes, if you want to have new use for runes, hey, you got to charge with water runes. You got to charge with nature runes. You've got to charge with whatever for the different skills. I mean, there is a lot of that, as we say, horizontal progression that we could be doing for this type of thing. So, I think there is a lot they can do, and
Okay.
I trust them that after seeing what they did. I mean, as I said, I do think that the harsh drop we got on Monday was planned so that they could bring in these cold fixes.
I don't know.
I mean,
what do you
That's
think,
some
Adam?
Cambridge
You've been
mob
watching
shit
your
right there.
community.
Hat.
Yeah,
It's-
you're
it's the
heading
way I-
Cambridge
that's the
mob
way I would have done it.
territory.
It's the way I would have done it, being, I mean, from that business background where you have been getting a lot of negativity. So let's do this, and then let's show that goodwill of, hey, look, we're doing this, and getting that first one done where they're showing tangible, a tangible rework of the rework for the players when they've got the feedback. Because if they had to drop this in as it is right now, and they're getting a lot of negative feedback on it, which, let's be honest, I mean, it's a very passionate community, and this day and age, social media, negativity is the thing that sells. That's the thing people push. People automatically go to the negative side. If they had have just done that, then they would have had to do more. It had to go from 70 to 85.
And that's the
Whereas,
thing that we walk away with happy this week.
exactly.
Is that it didn't fall down that negative feedback cycle that has happened so many times in the past.
Exactly. And I think that, and that's why, as I said, I mean, judging by what has happened lately, as I said, I do come from a business background. That's the way I would run it. Let's hit it hard, and then we can bring it back to where we really want it, and everyone's going to be happy. We've got the game where we want it. The players have got, had their say and bought it up and feel like they're empowered. So everyone is happy on both sides.
And one thing I want to say here, both in terms of this panel now embracing horizontal game design and items dropping, and in terms of the way the comms went this week, this is the aspects of old school that they needed to pull over. Because the OS game does both of those. They have this same sort of communication feedback loop, and they also engage in this sort of horizontal reward space discussion. Granted, there hasn't been much announced for it here, but it's something that could be considered. So,
do we still have the school guy in charge over here?
I don't think so.
Well,
I
that'd be
don't
a hell of
know.
a coincidence, though, right? Because, like, is that? I mean, if that is what's changed and that's what they're getting right this time, then that's awesome, right? Like, whatever the secret sauce was, more of it. I don't know if I can totally buy into the. I mean, if I buy into Pern's theory, then we're gonna have to create another agency on top of the mob. I think it's the JIA, the Jagex Intelligence Agency, working with the mob to conspire to do this. But, yeah, no, I think regardless, the results were good. If this is how old school works, then that's great.
Communication wise and back and forth with the players, absolutely.
Just don't ever bring in player voting.
Oh, they said they won't be doing that.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just making sure. This current boss says he won't ever. I just want to make sure no future boss ever brings it in either.
Yeah, just remember, there's always consequences to voting. Always.
That's my favorite quote, Tannis. Elections have consequences.
They do.
Yeah, you can expand it out to say voting has consequences.
Uh-huh.
Especially in Australia, people go, "Oh, I put in an invalid vote, so I'm not responsible." Well, sorry, folks, invalid votes go straight to the people who are already in power. So you did vote for those guys.
That's a non-vote saying is a vote with the majority, right?
Yeah.
Silent votes.
So with that, the triangle trade-offs 70% with where we've been. 70% is the right spot then.
I think so.
Sure.
Oh, sure. Okay.
I don't know if I have a strength.
No, you don't have a horse in the race.
80. I guess not. I mean, numbers just numbers, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
that's another one of my favorite sayings, folks. Numbers never hurt anyone. They're innocuous.
It gives me more gameplay.
Yeah.
Gives me more bang for my buck.
And overreaction or underreaction, what they did this week, honestly, probably right in the middle. Right in the middle.
Yep.
It was enough to get them to do the things that they did in the time scale they did it. So if we came out at a good outcome, then I guess it was right. I don't know. I felt it at the time, but.
And overall, what we end up with is a firming up of what players expect when it comes to AFK gameplay, progression, and the trade-offs that need to be given for this. And if anything, this is a perfect exercise for how the tweaks and rebalances in the mid and high level rebalances to happen later this year.
This was for the low level.
I know, this was the low level one. And that's why we pull out a good...
And this is where we got... imagine when they actually start targeting the things en masse that people care about.
Oh, I think you're going to see some more next week. Or is it next week?
Or, yeah, what if...
Horus is going to bring out a different crowd.
Well, yeah. I mean, as long as they distribute the ones that people want elsewhere.
Yeah, I mean, look, on paper, what they're doing looks good, but on paper, the thieving thing didn't look painful. So, Everyone grab a chair because this next time is someone else's turn. So
Yeah.
pull up
But
a chair and watch.
overall, I think there's lots of good learning that came from this, and it's something that we can all look for going into the future. The last thing I wanted to touch on here was their tenets of skill changes and releases, because I think it's important that we get these down, and we'll just go through them briefly here. Now, they're a general approach to the design and a refined direction for RuneScape, and they want these tenets to be the basis for every decision made. And it will help avoid design conflicts like those introduced this week. So, number 1, meaningful variety in skills, which means that skills should offer a range of activities and methods, including both high-intensity lean forward and low-intensity AFK options. There you go, Tannis. It's on paper.
Yeah. There we go. That's why I said the stuff to come out, it's very positive. I'm very in favor of it. So
balanced trade-offs.
Keep going. There's even better stuff coming.
Activities should be appropriately balanced across intensity and effort, XP rates, and GP rewards, ensuring that there's clear trade-offs between intensity, efficiency, and profitability.
Which is what we've always expressed.
Yeah.
The triangle.
Right? Like we've always talked about that.
The great triangle.
Yeah, one of the things I do is when I've done my 25 easy clues, I'll just chuck on my cape and my outfit, go down to ham and just AFK those while I do the things, so I gather up another 25 clues and all that. I don't care about anything else that's coming from there, XP, whatever, other than my clues. It's a bang. It's a low intensity, but it's the efficient way to get my clues. So
yeah. Predictable AFK gameplay. AFK activities should be consistent and predictable, allowing players to understand reliably when interaction may be required or rewarded. Good. We talked about that.
So that answers that question I proposed, right? Like if it's going to,
Yep. Progression amplifies power levels. Level ups and unlocks should meaningfully increase your proficiency within activities.
Yes.
And distinct skill identity. Skills should feel different, and what works for one skill may not necessarily apply to another. Hence why the archaeology method can't be applied here.
Fair enough. Yeah.
And as long as it's fun to play, yeah, you make it as different as you like, as long as it's entertaining and not, as we said, agility where you're running the same circle over and over and over again.
So if they stick to these and the learnings that came from this early game rebalance, that does make the mid game and end game rebalance easier, right?
Much.
Yeah. The more difficult part with that is this was just the first time that it touched those high level, mid level, and high level people. Yeah. The next ones it will touch all of us. More. Yeah. So it'll touch more people, but no, these principles, like I believe in those. And even though I can say, I want the FK to be good, should the most active gameplay in the game be 30% better? Sure, absolutely. Right? Like, that doesn't mean that my AFK needs to be 100k an hour. That just means that the best should be 30% better than what I'm doing, wherever that comes out to be.
And that's what I think that sort of 99 plus.
Yeah, 99 plus changes things too, I think.
A mil XP at 99 plus, I don't think is unreasonable for your highest end. That still means you're getting 700k an hour at your sort of AFK level,
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, I think we could tie a bow around it. I'm very pleased with what we came out with there at the end. So let us know what you guys think, if you think we hit the mark right, and if this thing that we unearthed here, this part of the greater redesign is what the end result was from the thieving this week. So let us know about that. Let us know. But with that, we do have a few achievements this week. So, Avernick, I believe you're starting us off.
Yes, we had on February 18th, Pugnasius getting 99 rune crafting, Shane getting 120 thieving, and Wistcase getting 99 defense.
Moving on to February 15th, we see Black Mexican with 120 agility. Well done, because we were just talking about that. Iskatu hit 120 necromancy, and Shamrock Soup hit 120 archaeology, all February 15th.
Good job, good job. Then we have Upern with 99 summoning on the Gim on the 14th. Happy Valentine's Day. Rhino with 120 magic on the 13th, and Stinky Pete 22 with 99 invention on February 12th. Good work, everybody.
Well done all. And yeah, to hit the 99 summoning to see if I could summon a girlfriend, but no such luck.
I did my thieving with a heist. And I got a 2.5 mil GP cash drop in that heist.
Ooh.
Very nice.
Plus some alcohols, so yeah, lots of money there. All right. As per usual, running through the end of this month, if you are interested in appearing on the podcast, head on over to update.show/help. That's where you can find our help wanted form. Fill that out. Tell us a bit about yourself, why you play this game, why you want to be on the show, and we'll be in contact with you for that. That's how a lot of people have come to us. That's how you got here, Tanis, back writing Informers. So you fill out this form. Who knows? Who knows what the world will look like for you when it comes to your favorite podcast. So update.show/help. Okie dokie. Pick of the week time. I was gonna bring forward this pick at some point, and I figured, why not do it this week? And Lego is something that has been around for a long time, and it has grown into into a modern phenomenon. And you think you just get the book, right, and then you build the set. But what they have done recently is they put together this app. They call it the Lego Builder app. And you enter in the QR code that comes with your book, or just the set ID that's on the box. And then it loads up a set of 3D instructions, effectively, to help you build your Lego set. In addition to that, it has the ability to allow you to build with other people, so that if you wanted to have 3 or 4 people working on the same set, you can collaborate within the same set, so that you're not stepping on each other's toes effectively with that. And you can, of course, also use it to just keep track of all the different Lego sets that you have. But one of the most interesting things about it is definitely that 3D digital instructions, because the book might have it printed one way, but if you want to look at it from the bottom, or if you want to flip it around, typically you couldn't do that. But now you can do that with this app. And I think it was you in pre-show, Tanis, that was mentioning the accessibility that you'd find from something like this.
Yeah, absolutely. Any time that you could do something digitally like that through an app, that gives you the ability to put it on a tablet or cast it to your TV.
Definitely.
And yeah, because sometimes things are really hard to see on that print. And yeah, no, I immediately thought of that. I was like, ooh, that is awesome, because I have a colleague at work that is quite into Legos. So I was like, I wonder if she knows about this, because all my other colleagues are like me. We all have eye conditions. So,
Another thing that's really good about it is that, sometimes you have multiple pieces that look almost the same color. The app is actually also really good for splitting that out and determining, what the exact color of the piece is that you're going for with it.
Oh, so yeah, I'm sure that's really helpful.
So that's something that you can do with that, and you can set up, like you can set up parties so that you're part of a group building it too. So all sorts of interesting things that happen with that, and it's a free app. I've been using it on my phone. I would say that you're probably better off using it with a tablet, like you said, just so you have the bigger canvas to work with. So, but yeah, the Lego Builder app, 100% free. You can find it linked in the show notes over at update.show, and give it a whirl if you're at all involved in building any Legos for it. So that is the pick of the week. Anything else before we go, folks?
Not from me.
No? Okay. Avernick, you good?
Yeah.
Okay, right on. Tennis?
Kids are all right, Shane.
Yeah, I think
They're
we're going to be
all right.
I think we're going to survive this.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you guys want to see when we talk about auras in a similar way next week, subscribe. Update.show/subscribe. We're on all the big podcast listening services out there. Apple Podcasts, Pocket Cast, Spotify, and more. And, of course, YouTube as well. YouTube.com/RSBANDB. Do give us a like and subscribe there. Greatly helps the channel out. But we do this each and every week. So if you want to get the show when it's around, head on over there to your favorite podcast listening service, and we're there. But good having you, Tanis. Good to dive into a bit of a skilling discussion on this. Thank you. Pern, always good having you from Australia.
Yes,
some people's
thank
first
you.
favorite Australian.
Good to be back from the Abyss Runecraft running.
And, of course, Avernick. Always good having you on, even if it's not a quest week. You're always good for these
one week it'll be quest week again. Was like 5 more weeks or something?
Yeah, Haven
Counting
is
down.
about a month out, right?
I think it's 4 weeks from Monday. So
Yeah, about a month out then.
Very nice.
Fascinating. That's coming quick. Well, then, with that being said, we'll see you guys next week for another episode of RSBANDB Update. See you then, everyone. Take care.
Bye.
See ya.
Happy Skype and all.